Las Vegas, renowned as the entertainment capital of the world. On any given day, you can choose from literally hundreds of shows. Large-scale productions, world-class mind-blowing venues, iconic performers, gorgeous showgirls, and immense talent.
Yep, my friends, it's showtime in Las Vegas, and we're taking you with us.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now.
The 2024 totals aren't in yet, but Las Vegas is on track to have welcomed 40 million visitors last year. How many of you include one or more shows in your vacation itinerary, or even come here specifically to catch your favorite headliner in a concert? We never take for granted that we have all this entertainment literally on our doorstep. But until recently, what our town didn't have was a proper performing arts center, a venue suitable for touring Broadway productions and symphony orchestras. In 2012, the need was fulfilled here in Symphony Park, the Smith Center. The center consists of 3 theaters in 2 buildings that were designed in a neo-Art Deco style. The intent was to echo the design of Hoover Dam. It is named for Fred and Mary Smith, community leaders, chairmen, and benefactors to a foundation bearing the name of this media giant and philanthropist, Donald Reynolds. The lawn across the center is a private park that can also serve as an additional concert venue. The exterior of the buildings is gorgeous white Indiana limestone, and the trim just hints at the elegance of that era in history even before you enter. In the main lobby, you can really pick up on the circa 1920s Art Deco design, particularly those unique lighting fixtures above us. If you've ever visited Hoover Dam, this may look familiar. It's modeled after the famous winged figures of the Republic statues. By the way, we were at the Smith Center a couple of months ago to attend one of their Broadway series shows, the new musical based on Back to the Future. The merchandise counter offered some irresistible items if you're a fan of the franchise, and there was a fun pick opportunity as well. The Smith Center cost $470 million to build, and as it begins its 13th year here in Las Vegas, it is truly a beautiful addition to our entertainment offerings. You can check out their calendar at thesmithcenter.com. Up on the mezzanine level is this roomy lounge where a nice selection of prepackaged light bites and drinks can be purchased. The main theater at Smith Center is Reynolds Hall, with seating for 2,050 on 5 levels. It is notable for its high-tech sound-enhancing features that truly maximize the audience experience. There was a strict no-camera policy for the Back to the Future show, but it was done in a fun, lighthearted way. This was a full version of the Broadway production with intermission. What a great place to see a show. Swinging over to the Strip, we have to mention the big-name residencies that Las Vegas is famous for. Donny Osmond is in his 4th smash year at Harrah's. A display case in the showroom lobby pays tribute to Donny's amazing and enduring musical journey, more than 60 years in show business. The showroom features a common layout for Las Vegas. a combination of traditional seats, booths, and tables. The show itself is a high-energy spectacle from the opening moments. The musical selections span the career of this prolific entertainer and feature dazzling choreography and lighting. A fan favorite is the segment where Donny calls on the audience to request songs from his entire repertoire, and he performs them right on the spot. This show is a many-time Best of Las Vegas winner, and we cannot recommend it enough. It's a fantastic night out in Vegas. Meanwhile, over at the Tuscany Suites, it's still the 1960s, and the Copa Room at the Sands lives on. In this intimate little cabaret, audiences can relive the glory days of those unscripted Rat Pack shows with Frank, Sammy, and Dean accompanied by a live big band. Now here's a fun fact. This is the only Las Vegas-based show that has a national touring company. It has endured for 23 years and more than 8,000 performances. Another one that Paula and I heartily endorse, and yes, that is my hat that Dean snatched as he went by. Decades before the Smith Center came to be, hit Broadway musicals had a home in Las Vegas at the resorts. A year ago, the Tony Award-winning Jersey Boys staged its third incarnation here at the Orleans. This version may have only lasted a matter of months, but the dramatic documentary-style story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons lived at the Palazzo for 4 years and another 4 years at the Paris. And get this, we've seen all 3 of the productions. Turning our focus to spectacle, we have to mention this. At $2.3 billion, the most expensive entertainment venue ever built right here. The Sphere opened a year and a half ago, and in 2024, just its second year of operation, Billboard reports that it achieved the highest annual gross ticket sales in history. Sphere is the largest spherical building in the world, measuring 366 feet high and 516 feet wide. The interior is a marvel. There is seating for 18,600 concert goers, 20,000 if you count standing room. The 16K resolution wrapped around LED screen is the world's largest. No video can do it justice. You literally have to be in there to truly appreciate the unparalleled visual experience, not to mention the incredible spatial audio. This footage is from the Dead & Company residency, but your other options include U2, the Eagles, and just announced country superstar Kenny Chesney. Now, just because a show isn't here anymore doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? America's Got Talent Las Vegas Live was a production staged at Luxor based on Simon Cowell's endlessly popular talent show competition. The TV version is still going strong after 19 seasons. We were invited by the photo crew for a behind-the-scenes peek at the setup activities and even did some interviews.
And these ladies work for
The Las Vegas Spectacular included champions and alumni from past AGT seasons, a varied and incredibly talented group of world-class entertainers. The show had a successful run at Luxor for 2.5 years, but even without this particular version, not to worry. There are AGT winners with regular gigs all up and down the Strip. Staying with that No Longer Here theme, not only is this show a piece of history, but so is the resort it lived in since 2006. We're talking about Love, the enduring and beautiful theatrical production by Cirque du Soleil that celebrates the music of the Beatles. Apple Corps partnered with Cirque, and Beatles producer George Martin and his son Giles were the music directors. Every seat in this specially built theater had its own set of 3 speakers. The original recording session tapes from Abbey Road Studios were reorchestrated, and a cast of 65 Cirque performers created a story around them. It was magic, and we know for a fact people went to see this show over and over again. It seems fitting that of Cirque's 5 current production shows on the Strip, the water-themed one should make its home here. O opened its permanent residency at Bellagio back in 1998. The lobby area is a mini art gallery featuring the elegant sculptures of the human form done by renowned artist Richard McDonald. The theater was designed to resemble a 14th century European opera house and seats 1,800. There was no filming during the performance, but in short, O takes place around and above a 1.5 million gallon pool of water as the Cirque acts celebrate water's pure form. A little further north on the Strip, the Wynn debuted a new spectacular a couple of years ago. The show is called Awakening, and Paula and I went to see it the week it opened. The ceiling in the lobby is a beautiful thing. The show takes place on a 60-foot wide 360-degree stage. This is one of the most technologically advanced theaters in the world. The story is an epic tale featuring 60 talented artists and a quest to reunite the forces of light and darkness to save the world. From new to old, next up is one of the longest-running production shows on the Strip, perfectly matched with its home at Excalibur. We're talking, of course, about the Tournament of Kings. This show opened in the basement in a 900-seat theater in 1990. For 35 years, it's been a great choice for family entertainment, one that encourages audience participation, and among the few that serves dinner along with the show. Enjoy a 3-course meal that you eat with your hands, no utensils. Now here's a fun fact. Excalibur is the nation's largest buyer of Cornish game hens. In the midst of dinner, the kings and their wenches gather at King Arthur's Round Table for a rowdy party. They participate in medieval sporting contests, and amidst a lot of pyrotechnics and hand-to-hand combat, best the evil Mordred. It's all great fun, and we've seen it dozens of times. Las Vegas has forever been an adult playground, so let us mention a couple of adults-only options like this one on Caesars Roman Plaza. Step inside the Green Fairy Garden to experience Absinthe, which happens inside this custom circus tent. But first, enjoy a drink or get something to eat in the garden. And stop to admire the Absinthe Electric Oak, an art installation featuring over 30,000 LED leaves. Absinthe comes to us from the wacky folks at Spiegelworld, described as a blend of carnival and spectacle. And how about this amazing tent? The 80-minute show brings to the stage one after another of talented and beautiful artists, the kind of acts you don't see anywhere else on the Strip. Be aware, though, the comedy and banter are raunchy and often X-rated.
From Vancouver, China, it's Ming and Jean-Pierre.
Stopping back at Luxor one more time, we just have to mention the sexy topless reviews that Las Vegas is famous for. For more than 25 years, since 1999, fantasy has set the gold standard for seductive entertainment on the Strip and gathered dozens of awards for excellence. Hostess and vocalist Lorena Perel is a powerhouse, and the dance numbers are imaginative and fun. If you are looking for an adult show with class and sophistication, you simply can't go wrong with the amazing singing, dancing, comedy, and of course, those beautiful ladies of fantasy. Okay, we just have to throw in a freebie and you'll find it right here. If you find yourself in the Forum Shops, look for the Atlantis Show playing at the top of the hour. This animatronic wonder appears on all of the top free attractions lists with its version of the story of the city of Atlantis. Each statue has more than 400 moving parts, and when you add in the pyrotechnics and sound effects, it's an amazing thing to watch. We'll wrap up our little taste of Vegas shows with comedy. Just before the Tropicana closed, we visited a Hollywood original, The Laugh Factory, and saw a comedy legend, Rich Little. The Laugh Factory was an intimate venue perfectly suited to comedy performances. Now here's a fun fact. This location had a lovely tribute to Rodney Dangerfield because he opened the Tropicana's very first comedy club 35 years ago. The display case of Martin and Lewis memorabilia really captured our attention. There are dozens of comedy clubs all over town, but we were happy to learn that this one has already heard from other resorts offering them a new home. I'm thinking we will see the Laugh Factory again very, very soon. And let's not forget the locals' casinos. Almost all of them have a showroom. This is the Suncoast out in Summerlin. Over the years, we've seen dozens of famous names perform in this room, true giants from show business. The layout is classic Las Vegas showroom, and we absolutely love it. Not too long ago, we had the pleasure of seeing pro wrestler turned stand-up comic Todd Royce perform on stage. Todd is a Washington native who became a TikTok sensation, moved to Vegas, and nowadays performs all over the country. We were able to interview him, and that was a blast.
You know, talking about the Suncoast and so many of the other local showrooms like the South Point and the Orleans, over the years, we have seen so many big name headline entertainers, people like the Osmond brothers, minus Donny and Marie. We've seen Frankie Avalon, Tony Orlando, Cloris Leachman, who put on an amazing show, Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch. His show also was amazing. We had an opportunity to see folks up close and personal in those showrooms, and that has always been really a great benefit of living here.
All right, let's talk about some classic Vegas adult shows other than fantasy. We love fantasy, but let's go back a few years, and this is one of my favorites, and Paula's too. Folies Bergère. You cannot beat this show. It was absolutely fantastic. The clothes, the dancing that they did. It was such a superb show, and I can't remember the amount of years that it was here, but it was here for a very, very long time, and I just loved it. Now, if you go up the street a little bit and you go over to Bally's, they had a show over there called Jubilee. We saw that many, many times, and one time we actually got to go up into the sound booth and watch the show looking down. It was amazing being up there. You couldn't clap and you couldn't talk because it was a sound booth, but Jubilee was a fantastic adult show back then. Absolutely loved it. And one more that I have, and this was at the MGM Grand, and it's called Crazy Horse. I don't know how many of you saw Crazy Horse. Again, a wonderful adult show right here in Las Vegas. And you know why? We need adult stuff, because why? We're the adult playground.
So what speaks Vegas more than the beautiful showgirl and our fabulous production shows? But we've also had our share of touring and resident Broadway musicals. Dale and I love a musical. We already mentioned Jersey Boys, and we actually saw that at all three of the venues where it was performing here in town. But our favorite will always and forever remain Phantom of the Opera, the version at the Venetian. It was a 95-minute show that actually included all the numbers. We must have seen that thing 15 times. It was fabulous. We saw it later on at the Smith Center, a touring version. Didn't enjoy it nearly as much as the Venetian. We also had a few other biggies. The Producers played at the Paris for a period of time. We had Spam-A-Lot with John O'Hurley over at the Wynn. That was so fun. And we also had a run of Hairspray at the Luxor. Yay for the Broadway shows.
All right, let me talk about a couple more shows, newer shows that they were playing here. One of the best shows we ever saw, and this was down at T-Mobile Arena, was George Strait. Just fantastic. And I'll tell you what, he does 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. He does all of his songs, plus I think he does every other country song that ever was. But George Strait, if you're in town and you ever get a chance to see him here in Las Vegas or wherever, check it out, George Strait. And I was also thinking back, when I first came here back in '78, they did a show down at the Plaza. It was Fiddler on the Roof. And so we've been doing Broadway shows here for a long time in Las Vegas. Let's talk about other remaining shows that we haven't talked about. Long time ago, back in the 80s, when we first got here, Lance Burton was at the Hacienda. This he signed this here. And after his show at the Hacienda, he would come out front and talk to all the kids and give them a free mat trick. And he was just nice, just a wonderful, nice guy. And of course, then when he went down to the Monte Carlo, we had to see him again. And of course, we saw him several times down there. Another show from back in my past, I mean, we're talking a long time ago. I absolutely love this show. It was at the MGM Grand, and it was called Effects. And the first person that starred in it was Michael Crawford. He was absolutely fabulous in it. It was one of those big production shows. They actually had a fire-breathing dragon on stage, and he would fly around the air on like a little flying saucer. He would stand there. I don't know how he did it and didn't fall off, but he did that show for quite a while. In fact, a lot of people did the show, but then David Cassidy came to Vegas, and he took over and did the show himself. Effects, one of my favorite shows here in Las Vegas. Absolutely love it. Got a lot of great shows here. I hope that you like this little retrospective that we did here on Showtime in Las Vegas. We had a good time putting it together. Paula did all the back work, all the hard work, finding out all the information about it. Me, I've been working on it now for the last 10 days. So it's a project of love, and I hope you enjoyed this. Now, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people, Miss Paula?
Yes, actually, I do want to say something. January has come to a close, and we want to thank all of you for sticking with us during this month where we were splitting our duties between so many responsibilities. As you can see, Dale and I aren't even together to do this outro, but we do what we have to. January is now over. Welcome to February, the month of love, and we look forward to many more adventures with you guys on our channel.
Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.